Think you know fear? Think again. Tonight, we bring you 3 stories that blur the line between nightmare and reality. One is entirely true, ripped from grim headlines and whispered rumors. The other 2? Pure fabrication, yet so vivid you'll swear you can feel their cold breath on your neck. Your challenge: determine which account is based on authentic events. Be careful, though. The truth is often far stranger than anything we can invent. Prepare to be pulled into unsettling worlds, where the ordinary twists into something unrecognizable. We'll lead you through a roadside attraction no traveler should ever visit after dark, a lonely motel where guests check in but never check out, and an old house brimming with secrets that should have remained buried. Each tale will tighten its grip on your nerves, leaving you desperate to know how it ends. Don't look away. Every detail matters. Listen for the subtle clues that separate fact from illusion. But remember, even the truest stories can feel like nightmares. We have only one question for you. Can you handle the suspense? This is True Terror Tales, where horror lurks at the fringes of our everyday world. 2 of these stories come from the deepest corners of imagination, but one is guaranteed to keep you awake long after the video ends. Ready or not, let's begin. It was supposed to be a weekend road trip, just 3 college friends, Mia, James, and Carlos, looking for a cheap thrill before midterms consumed their lives. They'd heard whispers of a traveling carnival that appeared without warning in abandoned lots across the state, then vanished just as mysteriously. Rumor had it the carnival never stayed in one place more than a single night. The trio laughed at the stories, eager to chase something exciting and weird. As dusk settled, they spotted a cluster of lights flickering at the edge of a desolate field. No signs, no roads leading in, just a glow hovering above waist-high weeds. They approached, heartbeats quickening. Suddenly, the lights flared brighter, revealing a makeshift carnival. A Ferris wheel that creaked in the wind, funhouse mirrors propped against old trailers, and booths draped in tattered curtains. Not a single person in sight. "Are we too early?" Carlos joked, trying to steady his voice. Mia stepped forward and heard it first, distant music, a calliope tune twisted and off-key, drifting through the still air. Then came the laughter, thin, hollow, and wrong. They exchanged uneasy glances, but curiosity tugged them forward. James shrugged. "We came this far," and they ventured deeper. A sudden flash of movement at the cotton candy stand caught Mia's eye. Someone ducked behind the counter, a small figure, pale-faced, grinning ear to ear. Before Mia could call out, the figure disappeared into the shadows. The trio followed footprints in the dust, unsure why they bothered. Every corner revealed more oddities: a carousel with chipped paint and animals frozen in snarls, a shooting gallery with rusted rifles and targets shaped like human silhouettes. As the night wore on, the carnival woke. Figures emerged, not quite clowns, not quite human. Their eyes were too wide, their smiles too stiff. They said nothing, only gestured for the friends to try a game or ride an attraction. The silence weighed heavy. Something was off. Mia noticed that every exit they tried led them back into the carnival's center. Paths looped, signs changed places when they weren't looking. James insisted they leave, but Carlos hesitated. He was oddly drawn to a fortune-teller's tent. Inside, candles flickered over a table draped in crimson cloth. A woman in a faded velvet robe sat hunched, her back turned. When she swiveled around, her face painted a dead white, she hissed, "One will stay." The candlelight distorted her features, making her eyes look hollow. Carlos stumbled back, terrified. Out in the open air, Mia and James found no sign of their friend. Voices echoed from the Ferris wheel. Shrieks cut through the silence. They ran from booth to booth, calling Carlos's name, but only encountered mocking laughter and mirrors, reflecting not their faces, but something else. Hollow-eyed copies mimicking their terror. The music intensified. Rides spun on their own. The carnival's denizens closed in. Mia saw a figure in Carlos's jacket slumped in a corner, but when she approached, it was just empty clothes. Panic clawed at her throat. James grabbed her hand, and they bolted toward where their car should have been. Only now the field stretched into darkness. The carnival lights followed them, always just behind. They ran until their lungs burned. In the faint glow before dawn, they stumbled onto the highway. Their car sat where they'd left it. No lights behind them, no carnival in sight. Just silent farmland. Shaken, they searched for Carlos, but he never returned. The police found no evidence. Locals shrugged. Some had heard rumors of a phantom carnival that claimed a life whenever it appeared. Mia and James left town, haunted by an empty passenger seat and the memory of hollow laughter. Angela had been driving for hours, escaping a messy breakup and a city she no longer called home. She needed quiet, time to think, and the open road promised clarity. But the night grew late, and her eyes were heavy. She passed a weathered sign. Marlowe's Inn. Vacancy. Perfect. She pulled off the deserted highway onto a gravel lane that ended at a lone motel, 8 rooms in a row, dim lights flickering overhead, and a neon vacancy sign buzzing erratically. The office smelled of dust and old coffee. A middle-aged man with a thin mustache and tired eyes stood behind the desk. He offered her a room key. Room 217, without asking her name or ID. Angela found that odd, but she was too exhausted to argue. The rate was cheap. Cash only. She took the key. Room 217 was cleaner than she expected, albeit dated. She locked the door, threw her bag on the bed, and noticed something strange. The window wouldn't open, painted shut. And the door... Did the lock just click on its own? She brushed it off, blaming fatigue. Around midnight, footsteps echoed outside. Angela peeked through the curtains. The same man from the office paced the walkway, muttering under his breath. She caught a few words. She'll stay. Anxiety prickled her skin. Maybe he was just eccentric. She turned off the light and tried to sleep.